moving too.
That's too hard.
Get all of this. There we go. Yeah, you're gonna have to scooch.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Time to be cozy.
All right,
Derek, you should be in the middle.
Well, hello, folks. Welcome to Nightmares and Grief, a place to explore and celebrate the darkness. It's good to see you all. We are celebrating the release of my book, To Make the World Obey, splatterpunk noir. So if you've been following along on YouTube, I know that has been quite an event for some folks. I apologize, I haven't been posting. It's because I've been publishing. So that will be coming up in the next week or so, next episode. With me, I have Surrender and Jess. They're here to grill me about the book. So I hope you enjoy, and go ahead, folks, take it away.
Okay, so how many books have you published?
Like novels or just books in total?
Books and novels.
Okay, so 2 novels. I have The Smell of Meat, and I have To Make the World Obey. Those are my 2 novels. I have a novella, 2 novellas, Venus and Running Shorts, and Kids These Days. Both of those you can listen to on YouTube. And I have 2 volumes of short stories, Nightmares and Grief, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 3 is coming this winter.
Awesome. Very awesome. Congratulations
Thank you.
on all of those books and on this book. Loving it. I think we should just give like a really big overview description so people know what we're talking about, but not like any spoilers. Does that work?
That's fair.
So To Make the World Obey is a book, as I was reading it, it's about the monsters who are real people in the world, and do we have to become a monster to fight those monsters? Is like the main question. And as a reader, that was the main question. We'll hear what Derek thinks. But Temujin is the big bad guy, so you're going to hear that word, and Deborah is the cop. There's a whole cast of cool characters, but those are the people we'll probably be referencing the most in this conversation. And you said in your blog that we know you've written like 80 books, right? And this one took you 10 years and you couldn't do it until you stopped trying to kill yourself.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So it's metaphorical and kind of literal. I have been struggling off and on with suicidal ideation for about 10 more years. I don't know. I kind of lose track. So a lot of that was that self-destruction sort of thing. That if you are fighting yourself and do not feel like you can take that physical action, then you self-destruct right away. So I was doing a lot of drugs. I was drinking a lot. I was numbing myself however I could and self-medicating.
And still writing 80 books.
I'm still writing a lot of books because I mean, like you gotta bleed out onto the page, right? It's like the leeches. You gotta get something out. So so I was still writing. I was actually talking to Surrender about The Smell of Meat the other day, and The Smell of Meat took me a long time. And I was like Stephen Kinging the whole thing. I was doing bumps of Molly while I was like slamming down a PBR and cranking out a scene about a talking fucking pig that doing therapy to a goddamn butcher in his basement. So I mean that book took me a long time too, even though I was, because I wasn't facing myself with it. So the story of To Make the World Obey's completion is really about learning to have the courage to look at myself without needing to run away. That's kind of what that blog post is about.
It's interesting. I found it was really interesting. So I have a special this thing where I get to be with you while you're doing your thing and you're writing and publishing, and there's all this work coming out. And as I spend time with you, I learn about you. And I just feel like it's I got a picture of you now.
Yeah.
And you tell me about this picture of you when you wrote The Smell of Meat. And it's kind of, for me, it's a little counterintuitive, like, I was hitting this and drinking that. While it was The Smell of Meat, which is by far and away, it's a sedate capture compared to Make the World Obey. To Make the World Obey is radically
it's a totally different.
ballistic, man. The whole time I'm strapped on a rocket, and I'm just, the dialogue screams. There's nothing, like, I don't feel pressured by any conversations. It's just the pace is so natural. And if I had to guess, I'd say it was.
I mean, I was numbing myself during The Smell of Meat. That was the problem. And so I didn't have access to those things that you see in To Make the World Obey. Because there has been like 10 years of inner work that has gone on through that book, and writing other things and going through, like, it's having access to that and being able to have a glimpse of what Jung talks about when he talks about integration. That's what made To Make the World Obey possible.
It's interesting that to reach yourself, to express yourself better, you needed to not be on the drugs.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to should go the Hemingway and, like, access through liquor and drugs and stuff.
But it was the opposite. And so then this is a quote blog. Deborah is this character that was born from your journey, right? She didn't exist in the earlier version of the book 10 years ago. And he says, the detective is born from the wound. Just love that phrase so much. The detective is born from the wound. The healer emerges from the failure, the part of me that fights to stay good, that perseveres through struggle, that chooses to embrace darkness without surrendering to it. That part could only exist once I stopped treating my failures as something to be eliminated. And I just thought that was really powerful in our perfectionist culture to look at that and say, I can't succeed when I'm trying to erase my failures. Right. So that's an amazing thing. And I think we're going to come back to that idea, but I wanted to talk about something in between. If you guys read this book, it's like violence from page 2. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I, my action stories to have some violence, but I'm not usually a horror reader, but I was turning these pages. And, but I'm going to say almost all the graphic scenes, almost all the really graphic violence is against women in this book. And I know you as a man who comes to have coffee and write with others and wears Hello Kitty pajamas to the coffee shop, right? I do not see you, and I see your wife, and she looks totally healthy. I don't see you as embodying misogyny, and so I'm wondering, can you talk about it being present in your work?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very intentional choice, was the thing, because everyone in that book, is trying to do what the title suggests. Everyone is trying to force the world to obey. And so they're almost all of them, except for Deborah, is punching down. And Deborah's the only one who's trying to punch up as much as she can.
So it's really a girl power book.
It's basically, that's why I picked a female detective. I mean, I like to think that there's elements of girl power. I think that that's one theme to it, absolutely. But yeah, the misogyny was intentional, and I'm aware of it. And Surendra had mentioned the prose comes in with that too, and that's because I was trying to embody each character coming in each vignette of the different POVs. I didn't want to, because the world doesn't sanitize itself.
Right. So you have your purpose, and yours is actually girl power. What will you say to other authors or readers or people who might think, well, no matter what your purpose is, does this increase or validate or encourage misogyny in real life or violence in real life?
Then I don't know what book you're reading, because none of those characters are very good. If like this is like the people who like the incels who idolize Joker as like the fallen hero or whatever, right? It's if you look at Johnny, who carves his name into a certain individual halfway through the book, and you think, yeah, geez, I want to be just like Johnny when I grow up, then fuck you. Like,
and Johnny gets the girl.
yeah. Like he's not a good person. Deborah is not really a good person by the end of it because she's had to go through this darkness, but she's realized that she can't keep pushing it away anymore, which is what she's been doing the whole book. Right? We even see that with Freddie. Freddie tries to push it away the whole book. But like I said, if you're looking for a book, folks, that has role models, then you should be reading Thomas the Tank Engine. Don't read my book.
Okay. So Surrender and I were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about how, and you're talking about you can't kill your failures. You can't suppress these parts of you, and how as human animals, maybe we do have instincts. We want to believe that we can live without dominating, that we can live without violence, that we can live without repression. But if we try to kill all those instincts, they're going to come out in other ways. And so is horror really self-help?
I think horror is one outlet for many different types of people. I know it's an outlet for me, right? One of my favorite Carl Jung quotes is that which is that in the shadow which is not given any expression manifests in the conscious, and we call it fate. So when we try to push down all of that darkness and not give it an outlet and give in to that toxic positivity that's really like making billions right now, when you give into that, then if you're not, things are not going to go well for you. You can't hold the mask forever, right? One of my favorite characters is Eddie Blake, the comedian from Watchmen. And Eddie Blake, the only way that he manages to do it is to go completely insane. His response to an insane world is to become just as insane. And he's not healthy. He's not happy throughout the entire thing, right? He has to become a monster in order to reconcile. So horror helps. Is it the only thing? No. Is it itself sustainable as its own independent thing? No. I think horror plus many other things helps. This is why, like if you're listening, BetterHelp. I'm down for a thing, but that's why BetterHelp is on like every horror podcast, right? Like every horror podcast has BetterHelp ads on because you need to have multiple things. I don't know how normal people express the darkness, but I do it through like wholesale slaughter and things like that in the books, NSA.
And it is there. You delivered to make the world obey. So when I was reading it, I immediately identified with Temujin. Temujin is like,
tell them about Temujin a little first.
So Temujin is this guy who he's like the villain, right? But we don't know that at first. Brother's like, where did he work?
He was a big five.
He's a paper pusher, and his mundane life was so mundane. And I love how you painted this portrait of every man's life, like Pelinut. Like there's a rite of passage that's coming. And my identification with Temujin before he was Temujin, put it in a way where I got it like 17 times in 2 pages. You're like, he became Temujin. Okay, so I got the change cue, and the thing I love about Temujin is because it was he saw that life is put in a box. I'm put in a box. This place is just a marketed box.
Yeah.
And he felt the compression, the pressure of what's the word? Conformity.
The conformity.
Yes. And so I really look forward to what would happen with that. And I actually questioned, like, so that's important for me.
Mhm.
And if I never find out how much pressure I feel, I can never sidestep it or deal with it or see it if I don't know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to see Temujin, and he became this dude who was just gonna dominate every dang
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
And crush it and make it obey. That was that dude. And I don't want to spoil alert anything, but he's like this huge physicality of pure primal.
He's obsessive. Yeah,
He's
just obsessive about whatever he can, however he can manifest dominance he wants. Whether it's breaking people or breaking minds or breaking himself.
Mhm.
That heavy pipe wrench, dude. Jeez.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's not a great. It's. Do you two think Temujin is happy in the book? Like I don't. When I wrote him, I didn't think he was. He's white knuckling the whole book, right? Because he doesn't. He's all persona. He's all mask, and he can't let it slip at any point throughout the entire book, because as soon as he does, then all the wolves descend upon him.
Mhm.
So he
built
in the
himself a
same
new
box. Exactly.
He built himself a new box. And I found that really interesting that he created his box again, except he was at the top
He was at the
instead
top.
of the bottom. And I'm listening to Surrender and I'm thinking everybody in society sometimes feels like they're in a box, but I think especially men in our society can feel that way. Just okay, all of us.
I think
Women too.
I think
Women too.
Everyone's like,
All of us are living in a box, but I do think that we don't look at the man box a lot. We look at the woman box a lot. We look at the child box a lot. We don't look at the man box a lot because the man box represses the woman box. So we look at the woman box.
Down thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But the man box is very real.
Which is the tragic flaw of the book. Right?
So how do you break out of this box without creating a new box? What does that look like?
I mean, like this thing.
Deborah do that.
Deborah just lost her job. That's what Deborah said.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, I don't know. I'll just say Deborah integrates.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean she's free. It just means that she's put down one battle, right? But there's we are all Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill. It doesn't, that is our box. Just by being born, we are here to push that boulder up the hill, which was one of those things I struggled with for 10 years. Do I really want to push this? Go ahead. I don't care. It's my YouTube channel. I break people on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I struggled with that idea of this is the rest of my the next 60 years or however long, right? You can't escape the box, right? You freedom is an illusion. And so every that used to be my big thing in high school. That was like my ideology, was just freedom, right? And then, the older you get, the more you realize that maybe part of the M on freedom starts to get tarnished. And then one of the O's falls off and the lights in the F isn't working, right?
Yeah.
And it just slowly falls away. The problem that Temujin had was that he couldn't find a way to build a life that he didn't need to escape. And we have to choose our boxes wisely.
I think you have more work to do. Because I think we can, like you said, we need to choose our boxes wisely, but I'm going to disagree that we're all this Sisyphus and the rock and all the thing, right? So much has to do with your perspective and how you define freedom, how you define laundry is a Sisyphus, but anyway, I'm interested to see where your books go next, and if you climb another hill and reach a place where you can define freedom as something that you can have again. But maybe you won't be writing horror. But I think the freedom to express yourself, the freedom to express yourself with horror is a freedom choice.
Yeah.
That's a freedom choice.
Well, it's how you're choosing my boxes.
Okay. You're choosing your boxes.
I'm not plugging your book, bro.
Please plug my book.
The dude, I think that's your friend. I felt free when I was reading your book.
You were telling me about.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I felt liberated. I felt seen.
Catharsis.
I don't know how you did that. It's my first horror. Like, I've read Stephen King and like this. Oh God, I can't read Kuntz, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing
Well,
in this genre. I want more, dude. I want more. I felt free reading when I was reading, and it wasn't like one page. I was like, oh, I feel free. It was while I was reading your book, I felt free. It was pretty creative. It was really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's on the list for next?
So currently,
Y'all just need to know he hit publish, and then he came to the writing group and said, so I'm on chapter 4 of my next series. So what's
yeah.
He's flipping me off.
so tell us about chapter.
So right now I'm working on I'm anticipating it's going to be a 5-book series. I'm going to sit on the first 3 books. Don't get too excited, but I'll probably release them on YouTube before I have the first 3 books done.
Buy them anyway.
Yeah, so buy them anyway, folks, please. But anyway, presently it's called the Hanged Man series. First book, the tentative title is Do Better.
Tell me there's tarot in it.
Yes, there's tarot. So it is Hanged Man, named after the tarot, and which is like this card that stalks me. And it's about a guy who is a physics teacher, and he doesn't believe in the supernatural. Supernatural stuff happens to him. Sounds cliche, but there's demons and shit. But I never use the D word. So I'm excited for it. I'm about 8 chapters in right now. So we'll see. Expect them next year, folks.
Can I ask you, just out of pure curiosity, do you feel, I assume when you wrote To Make the World Obey that you I don't know how you would write about freedom if you didn't feel free, but do you feel like in The Hanged Man, are you writing it with the freedom that you felt? I just felt there was such a difference between.
The Hanged Man is about grief, is what it's about.
So are you freely flowing with the grief?
I am definitely, like, when I sit down and I have, when it's on, right? Like, and it's just coming.
It sounds like it's on, because only a couple weeks, like 1 week ago, it was 3 chapters. Now it's 8. Yeah.
We all hate you.
Peace sign, buddy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Congratulations again. What are you hoping readers feel from this book?
I don't know. I feel like it's the cave in Star Wars, right? Whatever you've got, whatever you take into it is what you will get out of it, I think. I think it's all of my writing is a mirror. So I hope by reading To Make the World Obey, or listening to it on YouTube or on Spotify, wherever you get podcasts.
Subscribe.
I hope that you get a mirror into seeing a part of yourself that you needed to see, whatever that part is.
Did I tell you?
And you can validate yourself without killing people. Like, it's a thing.
I mean, you can. So like I say on my blog, words don't work. Baseball bat is nice.
One that's kind of rosy.
Don't
a little
actually
pink.
hit me.
Yeah, no. We don't endorse this. Yeah.
Ask ourselves, what time do we have?
I think we need to transition to his excerpt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Unless you had something else you wanted to
maybe
bring in
later.
questions.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks, Derek.
No, it's flown the coop, brother. Thank you.
Open mic night. Are we going to broadcast the open night?
Who's here for open mic? Anyone? Am I the only one? Am I just gonna sit here and like you're gonna do it?
Tim's going to do
I was
it.
gonna say, am I just gonna sit and read from my book the whole night?
All right.
All
I'm
right.
out of here.
If you guys are okay with me streaming it, I'll stream it.
Well. Oh, and get some banana bread. Super Toscana is on. Yeah, do it. Do you want the other mic?
Streaming it because the mic situation.
Yeah,
And
I think we should stand it.
I thought maybe you would just stand this mic up a little higher and
I
unless
guess
you don't want us
I'll
to
just
use
project.
We shut up, huh?
you can
just stop it.
No, it's still going. I'm just making a note about that.
I don't see it anymore.
Oh, yeah, I covered the.
Oh, okay.
so can you just make this talk? Or we can sit to open mic it.
That could have gone on for another half hour.
Yeah.
I was like,
Sorry.
I didn't know what we were in
I
for.
just busted
I mean, we can
it.
just talk.
We were aiming for 6:30, so we just Hey, do I have a wallet?
Are we still going? Can you hear me on YouTube?
Yeah.
So what other things did you want to talk about? Now it's Man on the Street.
I just thought it was really cool how through a medium of basically misogyny, I felt like you were empowering each of the characters. And what I was talking with Jess about was that I saw you as an author hoping to empower readers. What my history has been, bro, is it mimics a lot of the females in the misogynistic frame. Like I was trafficked, I was this and a lot of different histories. And I felt not only did you portray those really effectively, but I felt like at no time was any of those people confined to that box. I thought it was all about getting out of the box for everybody. So I thought you were empowering. That's what I saw. Do you feel?
Thank you.
Was that an effort that you felt like you were making, or is that just my read?
I mean, to an extent, I think I was trying once I discovered Temujin that I was trying to write about freedom. I don't know if that was particularly intentional so much as just because I mean it goes hand in hand, right? Because in order to make the world, the goal of making the world obey is to obtain freedom, right? And so the misogyny was a vessel for showing the extents that people will go to trying to obtain that freedom. The same way, like, you know, I just want to say I think it's interesting that the misogyny is the thing that comes up and not the mass shooting, right? Like like that's what we're focusing on is the misogyny and not the mass fucking shooting. And I knew in the book that I could get away with mass shooting because, you know, I'm fucking up all these women and that's the bigger deal, right? So there is this sleight of hand going on there as well, but they're all trying to just get their way. And so to an extent, that's freedom. Yeah. All right. Okie dokie. All right. Well, what's up? No, I uncovered it. It's good now. Okay. All right. Welcome to Nightmares and Grief, a place to explore and celebrate the darkness. Today, I'll be reading the prologue to my novel, To Make the World Obey. So settle in, check under the bed, and pour a drink for the skeletons in your closet. It's time to start. July 27th, 2018. Before he became Temujin, he managed a sporting goods store. He was clean and efficient, well-respected and secure. He came in early and left late, kept meticulous files, and stayed on top of his inventory. Before he was Temujin, he was a master of tedious minutiae. He would spend hours in the back room, surrounded by boxes of cleats and tennis rackets, footballs, baseballs, hockey pads, and compression shirts with bulls or inspirational quotes on them. Among the boxes, he hunched over a calculator and receipts, plugging numbers into the little machine to send off to his superior, who would take the aggregate numbers of all the stores and send it to his superior, who would do the same and send it to his. Temujin, before he became Temujin, hadn't realized it yet, but he lived in an inglorious mausoleum. The boxes were graves, and the numbers were epitaphs. The day he became Temujin, he left the store and locked up. He was all alone. There was no one waiting for him at home, so he did what he always did after work. He walked to the gym next door. Giant fans whirred loudly, mounted in the corners of the large, darkly colored room. The teenager behind the counter merely nodded at him as he signed in. The gym was nearly empty. There was one person, a young man, running on a treadmill off in the corner. He was thin and lean, and his shirt was covered with sweat. He looked like he was talking to himself softly. Temujin went to the free weights and put on his headphones. He listened to a lecture on the peoples of the steppe. He had been unable to afford college, and he harbored the bitterness like a scar. He had a deep love of history, and when young, he carried fantasies of archaeology, ancient civilizations, and dead languages. He grabbed the 50-pound set and lifted. Genghis Khan's father was a great man who had his glories stolen, and when the boy was born, he came out of the womb and into the world with nothing except, as the legend goes, a fist-sized blood clot clutched in his hand. He murdered his brother when he was very young and went on to unite the Mongols and conquer almost the entire known world. Temujin, before he became Temujin, put down the weights and went to the treadmill. He listened and ran. He ran faster and faster, and as he did, he felt something come together in his heart, could feel the fibers of an idea inching closer to each other and binding. He felt the birth of a new man inside his soul. He thought about boxes. He thought about all the boxes in the world. There were boxes in the storeroom of his work, boxes in the storefront, but in truth, the whole store was a box. When he left the gym, he would go into his car, park nearby, and drive to his home, another box filled with boxes of clothes, boxes of food, electronic boxes projecting reality placed neatly into a little ideological box for everyone to open and enjoy. Children went to boxes and opened boxes with words in them, and they were told about the world through boxed curriculum, purchased from wealthy people who bought huge boxes to put all of their things inside. Then the children went to bigger boxes and learned a little more about the world so that they could go out into it, equipped with a rigid, square mindset so they could repeat the whole process. The entire history of settled civilization was boxes. Boxes made the world. Temujin, before he was Temujin, ran and went nowhere. The Mongols were a force to be reckoned with even into the 19th century. They stayed in no single place and rode horses from infancy. When they wanted something, they went to a settlement and they took it. They were bound neither by land nor possessions. The Mongolians had seen the lie of settled civilization and rejected it. Their men were the closest thing to the natural state that the human animal was meant to encompass. Perhaps they were exactly what mankind was meant to be. Now, thanks to settling, the world breaks men down with the hammers of society and shapes them like tools. Men are stripped of their natural instincts, shaped into artificial creatures, and shoved into boxes. Behave, they are told, or you will be placed in a smaller box. He stopped running. He saw the world spread before his feet, saw the promise of freedom if only he would step out of his box. The entire world, not just the steppe, is a wide open place. Man, the animal, was not meant to be boxed. He stepped off the treadmill and went back to the weights in front of the long mirror. He grabbed a barbell. The clerk tried to stop him as he jammed the long metal rod into the curved handles of the door, and then the clerk screamed when he turned on him. A change had come over the man who was now Temujin. He could feel it beneath his skin, and the clerk must have seen it in his face. The meek creature who had so faithfully calculated sums and stocked the store was dead. Temujin had killed him. When he left the gym, he emptied his bank account, all 20 years of saving for a vacation, for retirement, for death, for nothing. The keypad on the ATM was sticky with bloody fingerprints, and Temujin didn't care. That night, he packed his car with only the things he needed and drove north. In Utah, he bought a gun, and when he ran out of money, he took whatever he needed. Never again would he allow himself to be subjugated to a box. Thank you. All right, where is our list? Who's next?
I'm next. Are we still gonna?
Do you want to end it?
I think we should stop.
You want to stop it?
Yeah.
All right.
Derrick's not even-
All right. Well, thanks for playing. I appreciate you folks. Be safe, take care, make good choices.